Hi there folks, and welcome back to the channel. Seiko Monster, possibly one of the most kind of polarising of the Seiko divers, because people tend to either love them or hate them. Some people just don't like the aesthetic of them, others love them. Some people don't like this shrouded bit here and here. There's various reasons, and others don't like them basically because of the name, which would suggest it's massive, and that's not really the case. So that's what we're here to talk about today. Should you get one? You know, if you've been kind of umming and ahhing, is the Seiko Monster the watch for you? They were first introduced in Japan in 2000, and they were selling for around about $250 and it started with the black dial and the orange dial. Inside the watch was an SKX, 7S26 movement. The watch number, reference number, was the SKX 779. That was followed by some kind of various different colorways and a couple of limited editions. Actually, quite a few kind of different colorways, which may or may not still be available. And despite what people say about price increases with kind of older Seiko dive watches, if you want one of the black dial, the original SKX 779 Seiko Monster, you can pick those up for around about 200 GBP, usually on places like eBay. Sometimes you'll pick them up for a bit less. The orange dial, not so much. That's a little more sought after. They ran those through to 2012 when it changed over to the second generation, which is easily identifiable by the kind of shark tooth indices on the dial there. They also upgraded the movement from the 7S26 to the 4R36, 24 joules, 21,600 vibrations per hour, 41-hour power reserve with hacking and hand winding. But just to give you an idea that these are not that massive if you've been thinking about a diver that's a bit different from your normal. Let's get in a bit closer on this. We'll have a look at it and we'll do some measurements. So we have a case width of 42mm, including the crown across between the 10 and the 4, that's 47. We have a lug to lug of 47.5. So as you can see, obviously it's a round watch, but it's got this kind of square sitting profile, and it does wear very well even on a smaller wrist. And you can see with that downturn in those lugs there, that it allows that bracelet to really kind of tuck in at that 47.5. We've got a thickness of 12.5 and a lug width of 20mm. This strap that it's on is an aftermarket strap, but we'll come back to that in a moment. The case is all 316L stainless steel, and this one is PVD coated black, and this is a 2012 model. You know, I know that we do criticise Seiko for some of their quality control, but you know, taking a look around this, you know, for a watch that's from 2012, this is in remarkably good condition. That PVD coating has lasted really well, and also the DLC covering on that stainless steel dial. There's, I do believe, somewhere around about here, there is a tiny little ding, and maybe again a bit there, but you know, that's it. And the other great thing about this particular one, which is the Sea Monster, is that bezel, which in some lights looks black, but as you can see is actually this really deep blue color, which changes in different lights. And I mean, the other thing is you've got the blue minutes hand. All the indices are applied and they're lume filled. You've got your day date at the 3 o'clock, and Prospect's automatic divers at 200 meters at the 6 o'clock position. And these are indeed an ISO certified diver. Now, considering that this watch is from 2012, the bezel action on this is still good. The only thing with these, with the shrouded part, is it's not always easy to grip the bezel here, so you do tend to have to go to the side. But I'll be quiet so you can hear it. It's got quite a nice feel to it. It's not as spongy as some of the Seikos that you get now, like particularly on things like the Samurai. Some of those really are quite spongy. And like I've said before in previous videos, Seiko divers, you can have two watches that are identical and the bezels feel different, so that's a bit odd. As far as accuracy goes, like I said, from 2012, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in some footage of this on the Time Grapher app that I've got on my phone, and we'll have a look and see how it's doing. And it hasn't had a service as yet, so yeah, let's check it out. I'll see you on the other side of the Time Grapher. So there we have it, running at minus 13 seconds per day, which is well within the design specs of, I believe, plus 40 to minus 20 per day for the 4R36. There is a third generation. Now those run the 6R15 movement, 23 joule, still 21,600 vibrations per hour, but with a 50-hour power reserve. And there's basically two of those. I think they were the blue one and the jade one. There's a specific name they give the blue, and I can't think for the life of me what it is. But those are quite expensive. I mean, I've seen those upwards of 700 plus GBP. Then you've got the fourth generation, which is the ones that are currently available, and they're kind of standard Seiko Prospects price of about 420. The second generation with the shark tooth, I picked this one up for 275 GBP. So they're not as expensive as you think they are if you hunt. If you're prepared to look and you're patient, you can find some good Seiko Monsters at sensible money. The strap, as I said, this is an aftermarket strap, which I bought this one from Amazon of all places. It's actually really quite a nice one. Came with a milled clasp. It was about 30 quid. So yeah, it fits that really well. It's much better than the strap it came with, which is one of these lovely things. Now the current Seiko Prospects, they do silicone straps like this, but they're much softer, and yeah, they're just a lot nicer. This is, you'd expect something like this on say a Casio Duro. Yes, it's quite nasty, and whoever had this before me, like I said, picked up off eBay, I don't think they use this strap much either, because it still looks brand new. So yeah, there we have it. To buy or not to buy. If you fancy a Seiko diver, and you don't want to kind of go down the route of getting a really old 7002 or 6309 or something like that, you fancy something a bit more up to date, why not try and hunt yourself down a Monster? Like I said, you can pick up Seiko Monster if you want the first generation. Okay, you don't get the hand winding and the hacking. We've already talked about that. You can pick them up for sub 200, and like I said, this one, which is a Gen 2, was 275. So they're not as expensive as we're kind of led to believe. They can be, admittedly. Some people will push it a little bit and try and get a bit more money, but just keep hunting around. Obviously there is loom involved with the Seiko, and since 2012 it's still doing really, really well. So you've probably seen that footage at the beginning, so I'll just drop the light down anyway, so we might as well have a look while we're here. And there we go. Not entirely dark in here. As you can see, this one, being the Sea Monster, has that blue lume. And one thing it's not actually showing up is that the minute hand is actually got a kind of a green hue to it. But it doesn't show up too well on camera. But yeah, there we go. The lume is still very, very good. So yes, there we have it. Would I buy another one? Yes, I would, but I would hunt around. I wouldn't just buy the first one I saw. Obviously, if you want one of the new ones, the 4th generation, which includes the Paddy and the Save the Ocean with the wave dial on it, which is actually, that's the Samurai with the wave dial, so you can get that on a Monster as well. You should be able to pick one of those up for around about 400 GBP if you hunt around. But yeah, that's it for now. That's my kind of rambling thoughts on whether you should or whether you shouldn't buy a Seiko Monster, an old one or a new one, or, you know, kind of which generation you fancy. But yeah, if you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up. That would be brilliant. And please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell and like, comment, and all the rest of the stuff that kind of goes along with that. But that is it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Cheers for now.